Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to take the time to respond to a comment that I got on one of my videos that I posted a while back, titled, "What do paraprofessionals actually do?" And this comment was left by Cupid230. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this person's comment and then I'm going to share my thoughts. So this says, "Hi, I'm a parent of an autistic first grader. It's my first experience dealing with paraprofessionals. I just want to know what's appropriate of me to ask from them. I don't want to seem intrusive, but I have definitely been hesitant about trusting them right away. So I'm curious about who they are as people, what their goals are as paras, their experience as a para so far. I don't want to be disrespectful and start off on a bad foot with anyone who will be working with my child. I just don't know if me having these conversations with them and asking them questions is appropriate." So I will tell you that I thankfully had the opportunity to work in a smaller school district. So I worked in ECSE, which is basically ages 3 to 5, but after ECSE left, because ECSE was only mornings, so they left around 10:30, 11ish, depending on the day. And after they left, I worked with anywhere up to 5th grade, 6th grade, because our elementary school included 6th grade at the point when I was working there. I am not currently working as a paraprofessional, but I do have quite of experience, a bit of experience to share with you. So I actually worked with two students who had an autism diagnosis. I'm not sure about the third one that I worked with. I had two one-to-ones, and then I kind of switched off with another paraprofessional who had her own one-to-one, but we kind of switched off because we didn't want any of the students to become reliant on just one of us. So we would kind of switch off just to make sure that that didn't happen. So basically, I want to say that if it helps you feel better about these people helping to take care of your child, helping to make sure that your child is successful, I would encourage you to ask those questions. I would encourage you to talk to them, ask to be involved. Hopefully, some schools I know will include paraprofessionals and teachers in like an IEP meeting. I personally would rather know what it is that your concerns are, and I loved being able to build a relationship with the parents as well as the students. So I had a pretty close bond with my one-to-ones. Like I said, I did have two one-to-ones that I was with on a regular, consistent basis while I was working at the school, and I had a pretty good relationship with their parents as well because, for at least one of my one-to-ones, she would get dropped off to me at the door in the morning every day at school. And she would kind of be with me until we went to the classroom and waited for ECSE to get off the bus. She would eat breakfast with ECSE, and then we would transition into her normal classroom. I will say that the other one-to-one that I had rode the bus with ECSE, so she would meet us in the classroom, have breakfast with ECSE, like my other one-to-one, and then they both would go to the same classroom because they had the same teacher. As a paraprofessional, I would have had absolutely no issue with you asking any questions. Like I said, if it would make you feel more comfortable as a parent, knowing the person who your child is going to be interacting with on a regular basis every day during their school life, I would have absolutely zero problem answering any questions. And, again, I also found it very helpful to have a closer relationship with my students and their parents, because I could talk to their parent if something was a little bit off during the day and just let them know when they came to pick them up or whatever, send them a note home in the backpack or whatever. I would, let them know, hey, so-and-so seemed a little bit off today. Not sure if anything is going on at home or if they weren't feeling well, but I just wanted to let you know, like, this is what happened while he or she was in class. And, like I said, I'm not sure if something's going on at home, or, is there anything we need to be aware of? Is there anything that you have experienced that might help us work through these issues with your child? If this situation happens again, something like that. Like, I feel like, paraprofessionals, teachers, parents, and students, we all need to be one team, because at the end of the day, the biggest goal is to make sure that the student is successful. And you can't just do that with just one person. So the paras and the teachers obviously work pretty close together. The paras and the students obviously work very close together. Whether you are a classroom paraprofessional or a one-to-one, somebody who works, in a specific setting, we all need to be a team. And at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're doing what is best for the student. And if that means that, we need to take extra time, or maybe make another meeting, something like that, to discuss what we could be doing differently to help the student better or be more successful, or to help them better acclimate to whatever it is that we're trying, whether they are somebody who may have a little bit of an issue being in a general education classroom. I just think that it's important to have that input from parents. And I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way. I'm sure I'm not, but I feel like parents obviously have the most experience with their own child. And so I take what parents have to say as very valuable, because like I said, they know their child best. And even though we do interact with the child on a daily basis while school is in session, obviously, what the parents experience at home may be different from how we experience their child while in a school setting. So I absolutely would say that if you feel like you want to ask questions, definitely go for it. I think any good school system, any good paraprofessional would have absolutely no problem answering your questions. I will tell you that it is completely understandable for you to be hesitant about trusting people right away, because, especially with a child who has special needs, I can understand the hesitation. I very much can, because it would be very easy for someone to take advantage of a person with special needs, whether they're a child or an adult. And so it is completely understandable for you to have that hesitation. But again, as someone who has worked in the special education field and who has had a passion for people with special needs for years, like decades, I have always been of the understanding or the feeling that if you don't feel right about a situation, there's a reason. I don't think that it's disrespectful for you to want to ask questions. I think that it makes sense for you to get to know them. And honestly, I wish that, like, before I even started working as a paraprofessional, I wish we would have had some time to interact with all of the students. So some of the students with ECSE got to come to us during the summer as sort of like a summer school type thing, but not all of them. And so I think it would have been helpful to have that sort of interaction before school actually started and all of the heavier routines came into play and things like that, because obviously summer school is a little bit more relaxed and not as much learning. I mean, there was still learning going on, but not as much. And it wasn't as rigid of a structure. So I don't think it's disrespectful at all. Like I said, if your child is in a school that is a good school system, working with a good paraprofessional and a good teacher, I think that they would be completely open and understanding of the fact that you have questions that you want to ask, and the fact that you are hesitant about trusting people right away. Because like I said, your child is, it's your baby, and you want to make sure that they are getting everything they need, and you want to make sure that you are able to trust that, your child is not going to be harmed or taken advantage of in some way. And it's completely understandable to me. So hopefully that answered your question. I know I got a little bit off track in a couple points there. But hopefully that answered your question. If you guys have any other questions or any topics you would like to hear me talk about on my channel in the future, I'd be glad to film something for you. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys next time.